Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of I Can Do. I hope and pray all is well with you. We are off to a new week. Sunday is the first day of the week, so I hope your week is going really well. It is Monday. Monday sometimes can be very challenging, but let's make it a marvelous Monday. Let's really focus upon our blessings, reasons to be thankful, the fact that we are here, that we have opportunity, that we have life, and there are so many opportunities that are before us. So I hope you are going to have a great week. Really, we get to decide how great our week typically will be. So today I want to talk a little bit about careers. Since the pandemic has hit, there has been a huge shift, pivot, and new focus when it comes to careers. There are a lot of people today. I was talking to someone yesterday about working from home. People today, more than ever, are really enjoying remote kinds of work. We had a couple over last week at our house, and they are traveling the United States. They are camping out. They're going to different state parks, and the father, the husband of the family, he's still working full time, but he can take his work on the road, and his boss allowed him to be able to travel and to work full time as well. There are so many opportunities that are out there, and if you find yourself maybe stuck, maybe trying to figure out what's next, or maybe you're a young person and you're trying to figure out what should I major in when I go to college. I think sometimes a lot of young people really don't have a lot of good direction, and that's okay, because when you're young, you're trying things out, you're trying different ideas, and you're trying to figure out, what do I actually want to become? What kind of career do I want to have? There's nothing wrong with trying to figure that out. However, you do want to be aware and conscious of the fact that college obviously can get really expensive. When we start changing our majors over and over and over again, well, then cost can begin to rise when we don't graduate in a timely fashion. So it is important that we have some kind of plan. How do we find the perfect career? Is there such a thing as a perfect career? More than not, most people are going to have different jobs, different careers throughout their lives. So we are in a moment in the world where there's a lot of pivoting that's taking place. People are reimagining how things can be done. Some people are going back to what they really dreamed about doing or dreamt about doing and the passions that they have. Now is a great time to make some adjustments. Maybe if you're not happy with your career path. But at the same time, that's a very scary thing. So I want to share with you a couple of thoughts about this idea of a perfect career, how to find a perfect career. I don't know if we can absolutely find that with any job or with any career. There will always be some kind of challenge along the way. So that's not what I'm talking about, where you have some kind of job or career where you never have any problems at all. But rather a career that you are satisfied, you are passionate about, your qualities or skill sets fit that career really well. Can we find that kind of job or career? I think the answer to that is yes. So one thought that came to my mind is the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. So in Deep Work, I really liked what Newport mentioned, where, when you think about most college graduation speeches, people always say, follow after your passions. Well, that's good, but that may not always work. And I liked what he talked about, where you may have a job. It's not necessarily your passion or your dream job, but it's an opportunity to work hard and to learn. And I think there's something to that. The Bible actually teaches that this idea, whatever we do, do it heartily unto the Lord, or as unto the Lord. In whatever job that we have, we should work hard. I can remember growing up that, I used to work at Walgreens. I used to do something called detasseling. I used to clean houses with my mom. That wasn't always fun work. Those were not my dream kinds of jobs, but I did learn the value of hard work. And I do think there's something there. You may not have this strong passion for a job, but if you need money for food and clothes and rent, then you're going to have to work, and you're going to have to work hard. And it may not be this dream job that you're looking for, but you still got to put some effort into it. But I recently learned of a test that I want to share with you. I took it. It's a fascinating test. It was very exhausting. Maybe you've heard of it before. This is something that's good if you are maybe graduating from high school, maybe if you are graduating from college, maybe if you are looking for a change in your career. The test that you can take can be found at the Johnson O'Connor Research Foundation. The Johnson O'Connor Research Foundation. I don't know if you've heard about this before, but their website is jocrf.org. jocrf.org. So they have locations throughout America, like in Atlanta and Boston and Chicago, Dallas, Denver and Houston, LA, New York, San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. So you can't find them everywhere, but they are in pretty much the really big cities here in America. So I learned about this from a friend of mine. Someone had recommended that he take this test, what they call a aptitude test. And you may be thinking, when you say aptitudes, what are you referring to? And so on their website, they say this, that aptitudes are natural talents, special abilities for doing or learning to do certain kinds of things easily and quickly. They have little to do with knowledge or culture or education or even interest. They have to do with hereditary. Musical talent and artistic talent are examples of such aptitudes. So they go on to say that some people can paint beautifully but cannot carry a tune. I can't do either. Others are good at talking to people but slow at paperwork. Still others can easily repair a car but find writing difficult. These basic differences, they say, among people are important factors in making one person satisfied as a banker, another satisfied as an engineer, and still another satisfied working as an editor. Their aptitude testing will identify your natural abilities. So it's a really fascinating test, and I want to talk a little bit more about it here and how it can benefit you. So stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit more about this right after our sponsors. Today's show is sponsored by the Still Waters Counseling with Julie Adams. You need a counselor with life experience who cares for you. That person is certainly Julie Adams. Sometimes it helps to talk, to unload hurts with those who listen with empathy while sharing the same biblical moral frame of reference. It also helps to receive constructive suggestions that move toward solutions in a more positive journey. Life is hard, and some days it gets harder. You do not have to go on this journey alone. If you're in need, please reach out to Julie Adams with the Still Waters. That is STILL waterslife.com. stillwaterslife.com to set up an appointment. All right, so as we continue to talk about this idea of finding your best career, I do think, again, it is important to understand that it may take some time to really find this out, But if you want to get a head start, and thinking back to when I was graduating from high school, I went to the University of Illinois. I majored in kinesiology, which really seemed to fit well with a lot of my passions and my strengths as well. So if you can identify, and this is what the Johnson O'Connor Foundation talks about on their website, that if you can identify your natural strengths, then that's going to help you to find out careers that will fit more, or at least will be more in alignment for you, that may be more appropriate for you than trying to try all these different things along the way. So I think it will help you to have a little bit more of a head start. Now, a couple of things to be aware of. It is a expensive test, number one. So when you take the test, it is going to cost you some money. It may be anywhere from $600 to $700, and that may depend upon where you are taking the test. All right, so it is important to know it's like $750, except in other places where it actually may be about $850. So that's a lot of money, but changing majors, bouncing from job to job to job or career to career, that's a lot of money too. So it's a great investment to get a head start, all right, if you're trying to figure out what you want to do. So number one, you need to be aware about the cost. Number two, you need to be able to take a day to actually take the test. This is where it got really fun. So I went to an office, and it was an all-day test. It took like 6 to 6.5 hours. So the testing is really fascinating, where there are sessions where they do different evaluations. And the test may not be exactly what you think. They're not all paper-type tests. There's a listening test, there's a vision test, and there's a lot of different things that are involved in it. So when you think about this, it's not just taking some test on a website for 20 or 30 minutes. It's going to take all day. So it takes about 6 to 6.5 hours. They're pretty fast getting the results back to you. And when they follow up, they set you up with a Zoom call. And they're able to discuss your test scores, what it may mean, how you go about reading, and they actually give you a lot of great resources. So if you are looking or actively looking for a job, they give you a lot of resources about, okay, here are the things that you should be potentially considering, where you would be great, what you would be great at doing. You would also really enjoy doing these things as well. So if you're looking to make better educational choices, if you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm not satisfied with this job or with this career, then this test will give you a lot of things to consider. So I would highly recommend it. And the best way to prepare is to go to their website. So you can go to their website. And by the way, I'm not getting any money for this. I'm not being sponsored by them or anything like that. It was something that I did. I'm always curious about learning more about myself. If you can have that kind of mindset, I think it's a great mindset to have, the way that we think, the things that we're attracted to. So looking at a lot of the things that I'm doing now, whether in the past it was with pharmaceutical sales, that public speaking kind of career and job of selling and learning different products. And now I'm preaching full time, the podcast that I'm doing. It's very fascinating to see why certain things are often attracting to us. So the more you can dive into that, the better off you're going to be. So I would highly recommend this to young people. Young people who are in high school. The minimum age of someone who can take this test is 14 years old. So if you're 14 or older, it could give you some really great insight about maybe the best path to take. It's hard trying to figure out what degree you want to get when you're in college. It's hard thinking about a job and how many jobs an adult is going to have. There are people today who think, okay, well, The very first job that they get, that's going to be their dream job. Well, maybe, but maybe not. So if you're looking to plan more, to really kind of consider, okay, what might be a way for me to kind of get a little bit of an edge? What might be a way for me to get some more insight about things that I could pursue that would set me up to be as successful as possible? Well, this is a great opportunity for you. The Johnson O'Connor Research Foundation, their testing system, it's a fantastic system, and I recommend that you give it a shot. So if you do decide to do this, please let me know. I would love to hear what you learn about yourself. And you may find that what you're doing right now, maybe that's the right thing for you. But you may also see, you know what? There's some other options out there that I may need to be thinking about. Now is the perfect time to think about your career, the next 5, 10, or 15 years, where everything today has changed. And what a great opportunity to find something that maybe you really want to do, to find something that you really can excel in doing. I hope this helps. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you are in the need or looking for more motivation in your life, feel free to check out my website, benjaminlee.blog, where you can find hundreds of encouraging, motivational blog posts on a variety of subjects. You can find all of my books, which can also be found on Amazon.com, and other podcast interviews with a variety of people. I hope this helps. Please leave me a rating and a review. I can do, and so can you. Take care, and God bless.